Horror. It's a combination of elements to evoke fear, unease, suspense in the player. And when you say aberration, first thing that comes to mind... Oh, you don't know what aberration is? You silly little thing. I didn't know too, so I had to translate it. So according to Google, aberration is something that deviates from what is considered normal or expected. So, in other words, abnormal. So what's the first thing that comes to mind when you say aberration? A horror game, because that's the first thing that's when I first saw the theme for the Acerola Game Jam 0. So that's what I'm making, but only in 6 days, because I'm dumb and this is the first game I make in 6 months. I didn't know the Game Jam was on, so I'm late by 12 days, but that won't stop me because I love a hard challenge and I love to suffer. Let's get into it. Now, like any rational game developer, I decided to first brainstorm some ideas and make a plan. You thought I just jumped into the road and then started to refresh my memory, or let's say relearn how to make 3D movement in first person. So yeah, it was like hell. I haven't coded anything for 6 months. And then I started to brainstorm some ideas. So the initial idea was to throw the player in a castle. They have to go through 7 trials, resembling the 7 deadly sins of such. And for every trial there is a unique monster. But in the end I ended up scrubbing all of the ideas. Maybe in the future, but like 7 unique monsters? Are you kidding me? You have 6 days. But for now, I made this fella in Blender. His name is Gibby. His Gibby. That's all. Oh, I also made this map here. I modeled a castle and a tree and a foliage. As for the tree and the foliage, I used the planes with alpha textures on them. Well, as for the tree, it's just an array of planes with alpha texture. And then it looks good. I made the door open when you're close enough. Okay, after fixing this, I made the door close behind you the moment you get in. I'm not sure why it's laggy, but... Well, initially, as I told you before, you're supposed to begin the game here. So, I made a door that with an animation that takes you to... Well... And oh, looks like someone needs to activate their windows. And this was all for day 1. I spent day 2 designing UI for the game, a pause menu, a death screen, a main menu, options, which I left empty by the way, it will come in handy later, and the UI elements for the player. I made a flashlight, it's a progress bar that decreases whenever the flashlight is on, that's gonna be integrated in the game mechanics later. And the sprint progress bar, which instead of a bar, I chose to make it a guy sprinting. Took me a lot of time, almost the majority of the day, trying to get the sprinting to work right, because I wanted the player to have a cooldown before restoring the stamina, and yeah, a bunch of you'll explore when you play the game, which is up on itch.io though, and as of the time I'm recording this, the game jam rating is still on, so you could go and rate my game, maybe, that would be appreciated. And as we wrap it, don't forget to like if you liked the video, and subscribe to see more of me. And that's it for day 2. Oh, and then I spent day 3 playtesting some games to get some ideas, but in the end nothing worked, so that was a waste of time. Moving on! Now for our new idea. So we have Gibby, and he's really scary the further you get from him, especially inside of the maze. And yes, we now have a maze, and it's, well, your path is technically blocked with fence, because you're gonna get lost if I don't show you where you need to go, and I don't have time to implement mechanics that will get you back on track. I changed the door castle so it opens with a lever instead of when you get close to it. I put an orb inside of the maze, some batteries for the flashlight because it runs out, and if you're moving in the dark inside of the maze, your sanity will go down. And here comes Bob's role. You see, Bob is a really... And with that said, that's everything for the game. I love the idea of the game, so I see potential in it. Like and subscribe to the channel to see more of Aberrant Labyrinth, which is a really made up name. That's not the final name for the game. But either way, see you next time.